Wasn't that a blast, everyone? Especially blasting that Kraken. I'm still cracked up about this. I cannot stop. I won't stop. Sorry. But coming up next, we have Chameleon Twist. And then, what a twist, Chameleon Twist 2. Y'all can donate for which Chameleon to play, even for Chameleon Twist 1. Even though we don't have an official one. Just drop them in. Just say it in your donation, and then we got you if you want to snipe that. If you know what it's about. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for the next hour. But right after that, there's still Anti-Chamber, the bonus any percent run right after the 100% run. The Hotline Miami bonus score attack is still open. 3 out of $80 met. And Omega Boost, yes, I had a hand in that, is 25 out of $100 for that incentive. And then we still have going our Choose the Next Speed Dogs video bid war incentive thingy. Still Super Mario Galaxy in the lead, which I'll hand to them. They shall have what they love, but I heard the Chameleon Twist peeps will be very friendlily encouraging you all. Then we have this just in, a 12-hour stream somewhere in June or July coming up if you are willing to donate a further $62. Oh, wait. No, it's 50 less because people are just amazing. Shu dropped in $3 and said, someone has to show Tony Hawk. I start this over. I don't know what my tongue was doing there. Someone has to show Tony Hawk a little bit of love. Roo, Mad Slam! And Rhodas with $50 saying, good luck, Quill and Run, who are going to kick us off with a race in Chameleon Twist. And with that, we are right up $12 away from our milestone, which is said 12-hour stream by our lovely Speed Dogs crew. And they might be taking recommendations for games. I heard they love it when they're a little bit weird. Nah. Chameleon Twist now leads the charge for the next Speed Dogs video with $80 over Super Mario Galaxy's 75. Well. If I didn't foretell it by seconds. Or maybe I had the donation tracker running there. I'll check right back in with you. I hope everybody's ready to kick this off with a nice and fast race. And I hope you all are enjoying Squidbird's amazingness of background. That's not even background music. That's the star on the stage. Just good music. I always love shouting out a great artist who is, yeah, you can hear it. I don't need to talk. Just enjoy.
we've driven an hour out into the desert, and this really is where hunger, the economic crisis and climate change all collide in Afghanistan. There's no safe water for miles around here. There's just one well that families here tell me causes diarrhea and contains toxins. Before the crisis, the villagers could afford to get water trucked in tankers. But now they just can't afford it. The price of one tanker has doubled, and all the families here are struggling and don't know where their next meal is coming from. Save the Children, for the moment, has stepped in. We bring in 1 truck of water every week, which is really the only safe drinking water that families here have access to. One of the ways that families here try to get enough water is by collecting rain in plastic sheeting that then funnels into pits under the ground that they've dug. And sometimes they're forced to drink that, despite the fact the water's stagnant and dirty and causes diseases like diarrhea. Thankfully, at the moment we're trucking water out here, so that isn't necessary, but that's what families were going through before Save the Children's water tankers reached this area.
And now, joining us for a race in Chameleon Twist, any percent, we have the one, the only, qwillinallthefish, and Quentin. Take it away.
Hey guys, I'm qwillinallthefish. You guys probably know me by now because you all watch every Speed Docs Marathon. I've been here a few times. Couple of housekeeping things that I wanted to mention before we got started. One, be sure to donate, and when you donate, make sure you put your money towards an incentive. That's your big prizes, like incentives for the runs to increase in length, like you did for this one, where we changed this from any percent to all levels, which is pretty cool. And then you can also apply it. It's not double the money. It's the same, whatever, being applied multiple places. Apply it to get Chameleon Twist world record history video to be the next Speed Docs video. So be sure that when you donate, you put it towards that, because that'll be great, and they're going to do a great job. I've been talking to CJ about that video, so it's in the works already a little bit, but we want to get it out there so people can enjoy that as soon as possible. So be sure to vote for that. Second, my mom's here. If you can say hello at qwillinalltheparents, I just put it in chat. Tell her hi. And third of all, Run and I are running on different versions of the game. I'm running on the Japanese version, and Run is running on the English version. Mro is commentating today, and he will be explaining that throughout the run, different version differences. So be prepared for that. But if you see different things on different screens, that's probably why. There are several version differences that we'll be dealing with. And lastly, FC, I got a question for you. Did anyone donate to ask us to play a specific color before this run? Uh-oh. We lose FC.
We have no donations for any specific colors for ye good old Chameleon Twist 1, but we already have some for Chameleon Twist 2.
Alright, we'll wait for that then, and I'll just pick my boy Fred, because I love Fred. And with that, I think I'm ready whenever you guys are. Maybe Mro, you can count us down and then introduce yourselves. Let's Run. You want to say something first?
All right. Yeah. So I'm Running Awake, DT runner. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're good to go.
Everything a-okay from my side. Take it away, and good luck.
All right. Well, then we'll get started. I'll do a countdown of 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Well, as was mentioned before, this is the all levels category of Chameleon Twist. So kind of the main difference between all levels and any percent is the way that this game is set up is when you beat the first level, it unlocks the next 2 levels, so levels 2 and 3. And then if you beat one of those levels, it'll unlock levels 4 and 5. And then if you beat one of those, it unlocks the final level. So you don't even have to beat all the levels to actually beat the game. So in an any percent, we actually skip 2 of the levels. However, with this category, as it's kind of self-explanatory, we do all the levels. So you'll get to kind of see some of the things that you wouldn't necessarily see in the any percent run. And as Quill mentioned, there's some version differences. And so I'll try and point out as many as I can when I see them. One kind of one that you'll see actually from Jungle Land here is you can see how in the waterfall you're able to run through on the US version. On the Japanese version, you actually have to jump over the little platforms because the water moves at a much faster speed. And then what they kind of are doing here with the door clips here is you clip through the door and it actually just takes you right to the boss. So there's like a whole section of the level that they just skip over, which is really nice, and it makes this level go a lot faster. And that's pretty much Jungle Land. So it's a very short level, really nice. You skip through a lot of it. And then we're going into Antland, which is the next level. Both of them are going to be doing the same order, just to make things a little bit easier from a race perspective. But this level is one of the levels that we skip in the any percent run because it is a lot longer. Specifically the boss. The boss takes probably like 1.5 minutes, which is basically longer than the entire level of Jungle Land. So this section right here, there's a door that you can clip through. Looks like Quentin got it, and Quill's still trying to get this here. Got it as well. And then the room with the spinning walls, this is actually RNG, so it just depends. Sometimes it spins a few times, sometimes it doesn't. So ideally you don't want it to spin too many times, but it doesn't lose a ton of time either way.
Well, there is something I wanted to mention real quick, and it's probably going to occur during this level. As per my usual, for every unintentional damage I take throughout both of these runs, the Chameleon Twist 1 and Chameleon Twist 2 runs, I'm going to donate $1. So, and then my parents are going to match that as well. So far, we're at 0.
All right.
Extra shout out to Quill and all the parents. Real quick memo from Tech. Run, I think, the Discord stream. If you can stop it, it is leading to some dropped frames in the stream.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
We asked for that, and those are the consequences. Shout out to Quo, having an eye on that.
I will mention.
Yeah, so the section that they're... Go ahead.
I was just going to say that all of these door clips that... I don't know if Run's doing them, but I've just been doing a few of them there. Those are all frame perfect. So that's why they take a couple tries sometimes.
Yeah, Quill always says that they're frame perfect, and you know, I don't disbelieve him, but I feel like when he says that, it makes it seem so hard and scary. When they are difficult, but
we don't need to tell him about the setups.
You'll kind of see here. I don't know if Quill's gonna do it. Yeah, he's. You can see one of the version differences here. On the English version, you have to kind of take the long way around, whereas the Japanese, you can jump around that wall. And then this is the biggest difference in the version, is right now Quill has to wait for this door. It is possible to clip through the door, but it is very difficult because all these ants are just coming at you. And the door takes about like 30 to 35 seconds or so for it to actually open up. So you're supposed to just survive, but you can clip through, and that actually saves a lot of time if you can manage it, but it's a very difficult clip to clip through.
I want to give a big shout out to Kitsune for keeping track of these damages.
And then this is another version difference. You can actually see the health on the Antland boss on the Japanese version, and she moves a lot quicker, as you'll kind of see. But otherwise, this fight is pretty slow, because you have to just wait for a lot of spins and then to do 1 damage at a time. So if you have any donations, this is a great time to read them because it's very kind of slow boss.
Kitsune gets an extra shout out because $10 says good luck, guys. Also, boing.
Aw, thanks, Kitsune.
Yeah, and then each time you do damage, she does another spin. So the last time's going to be 5 spins, and so it increments. So that's why it really just takes a while. It's actually possible to cancel one of the spins, but it's pretty difficult. And with the ants kind of moving around, it can be hard to kind of get a nice setup where you don't screw it up.
10. I don't game over. 11.
So this is where you'll see Quentin kind of take a lead because you know, they didn't have to wait for the door to go up like Quill did. But there'll be other times throughout the run where it's actually faster on Japanese. So for most of the history of this category is run on US version because of that door. Quill recently did a lot of the retiming on a lot of the differences and found that it's actually very similar. So if you can get the door clip, it's actually faster to do Japanese. But you'll kind of see as the run goes on, there'll be opportunities for Quill to kind of catch up with some of those differences. He's got kind of the slow part at the start, and then he'll be able to catch up further along. Specifically, probably the most in the last level.
I want to mention that my heart is racing because I almost lost 1.5 minutes to game overing there.
Yeah, that would be probably the worst place you could game over, especially in a no reset run like this.
Yeah.
In a normal run, you would just reset. But if you were to die there and have to redo the entire fight, that is like 1.5 minutes. Yeah, so this is Bombland. This is one of the levels that you would normally do in any percent because it's pretty quick. Not a ton of version differences, a few. You'll see this room with the X's and O's that Quentin's doing right now. It's a little different to do the hit. And now you can actually clip through that door, but it's a little tricky to actually clip through it. So the way you hit the blocks to get the X or O is different. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I was working on
I don't know. What is that?
Quentin just went for the bridge clip on the second and got it.
Oh. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even something people do in ILs yet because it's so like inconsistent right now. I think it saves like a half second or something like that. It's like really small. And you lose a ton of time if you don't get it, so that's why nobody goes for it. But I respect the swag of going for it.
Had to.
So you'll also see the differences in the boss. The Bombland boss is a little bit slower on the US version compared to Japanese. You have to do a few more hits because the boss moves slower. So you'll kind of see on Quill's fight how you can take it out in one shot ideally. Sometimes it takes 2. And he gets the 1, which is great. The backup of getting 2 there is not much of a time loss, but it's nice to get the 1 shot. And then now they're moving into Desert Castle. This is one of the only levels really in the game that's more of like an open style course compared to just rooms. So it's kind of got similar vibes to CT2, as you'll see in the next run when Quill does that. But this level is a lot more of just an open course. So it's kind of nice to get like a little bit of a different style in this game. Yeah, the first section here, they're just trying to make an earlier cycle. It's not incredibly difficult to make, but if you miss it, it loses a good chunk of time. So it's really nice that they ideally can both make it.
want to give a huge shout outs to Run for optimizing this level to an insane level that we didn't think was possible for the ILs, for both 100% and any percent. They did an astounding job and found some really cool tricks here.
Yeah, there's even a slightly faster cycle that you can make, but it's a lot more, very little room for error to make it. So most people won't go for it in an actual run because it can cost you time if you don't get it. And then there's a little bit of a lull here with these sand slides while you're just kind of rolling down them. So if you got any more donations, another good time to read.
Nothing on the donation front, but I can tell you all a little bit about the charity, a little bit about Speed Dogs, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah, good idea.
So, the Mightstone. I've just been told the $2,565, which we are $2 away from meeting, has been Speed Dogs-a-thon 2021's first weekend total, which we already got in a launch party, which is amazing. So thanks again to everybody who put in a buck here, a buck there, and also to Quillen, who will definitely help us meet that incentive.
We're at 14, boys and girls.
14,
Everybody
14
else.
and counting.
15. We got a whole other game left.
Oh, over both of those. Well,
Yeah.
well.
My mom's going bankrupt as we speak.
All right. Next.
Will's just trying to bankrupt his parents.
Next Speed Dog charity stream is support the Quillen family. For Chameleon Twist, we have the Chameleon color incentive. So pink is Linda, sitting at Comfy 0. Orange, Fred, you said favorite. Looking good, $15 so far. And then there's green, that's Jack, and blue, that's Davey. Those two also $0, but it's anybody's game, anybody's guess. Then we also have for the last run of the day, the night, whatever it will be, where you will be, for Resident Evil 2, Leon A or Claire A as a route, as the run. That's something you might want to get in early, but so far it's everybody's game. That's it for me for now.
All right. Awesome. So they are still making their way through this level. One kind of interesting thing is you kind of saw as Quill passed through this spike area is there's that little thing before the spike. It actually shrinks you and you can go underneath the spike, but it's so slow that there's no point in doing it, especially in this type of speedrun. So it's just kind of a funny thing to point out. It's just another version difference. And then this fight, also you'll see with the boss fight, pretty similar for the most part. The way it starts off is just a little different for the version difference, but you'll also see when Quill gets there, the little health meters will be there on the Japanese, which is kind of interesting that they decided to put the life there on one version but didn't on the other. Still a pretty close race. There's definitely a lot of time still. Again, I mentioned in the last level where Quill can really make up time, and we'll kind of talk about it when we get there. But yeah, this is still a very, very close race. So Quentin's moving into Kids Land, which is another level that you'll see in the Any Percent run. Kind of a really weird stage and kind of difficult to practice, mainly because there's a lot of platforms that move on a cycle base. And these are global cycles that start when the level starts. So it's not dependent on when you enter the room, it's when you start the level. So it kind of makes it kind of a pain to practice. But you're ideally trying to make a certain cycle at a certain room a little later on. And so the nice thing is there is a little room for error. You can make a mistake and still potentially make the cycle. So you're not actually losing any time. But a lot of this level is just trying to hit certain cycles and make it there. But sometimes it's dependent on RNG in certain rooms, like this room with the 3 platforms here. You can actually clip through some of the doors in Kids Land. It's a lot harder than the other door clips. For a long time, it wasn't even thought to be possible. but was only recently discovered. So it's really nice because it can give you the ability to make even earlier cycles, but it's a lot more difficult. And then so a couple of version differences too is a few of these rooms there is just like pits on the Japanese version, but on the US version there's like, you know, ground that you can just walk around on. So it's really interesting about some of these like little subtle differences. And I don't know if they just thought it was too easy or something and they changed it up, but it's kind of funny to go through the game and see some of these little subtle differences. And then so these platform rooms are really the rooms that we're talking about with the cycles. You're really trying to get there at certain points to make the certain cycles. It's kind of a headache when you're learning this run, just how all these cycles work and how much time loss there is and how much time save there is based on what you're on. But as much as annoying as it can be, it is a really interesting level just from the perspective of, again, you could, you know, lose 1 or 2 seconds and then it could end up not mattering just because you're still getting there at a certain point. Oh, and a fall, yeah. This is the last room in the level, and it really is a pain. The camera doesn't really cooperate super well because it switches into the free cam. And if you die, you have to go back to the start, so it's really a hassle if you fall there. And then this is going to be the cake boss. So one of the kind of interesting things you can do is you can actually pause when you first enter the room, and that saves a little bit of time right here because you're actually going to pause now if you don't get it, and you're going to save the game. You're going to exit, you're going to go into the training room and go back into the file, and this allows you to move during the cutscene, which allows you to attack the cake ahead of time. And a really nice 4 kids there, getting all 4. That saves a nice chunk of time. If you don't get that, you have to wait for the cake to kind of move around, shoot a bunch of stuff out, and it'll maybe be like 10 seconds or so. So it's a really nice time save if you can get that. All right, and then Quentin's moving into the final level. This is Ghost Castle. As I mentioned before, a lot of regional differences in this level specifically. The big ones are there'll be these candle rooms.
I got 2 kids.
Oh.
2 kids is just 1 second faster than just doing this fight vanilla, so not happy about that.
The worst part about 2 kids is it really means you screwed something up, unfortunately, because ideally, even if you kind of miss one of the grabs, you should be able to get 3 at least. So it's really unfortunate when you get only 2 or less. But you'll be seeing one of the differences coming up here. These platforms that are going to be spawning in this candle room. It's really the respawn rate of the fires are different on the US versus Japanese. So the US takes a lot longer. Oh, to fall there, okay. That's unfortunate.
Over the course, there's 2 different candle rooms. Over the course of both of them, Japanese saves about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it really is significant. That's like the big chunk of the time that you get back by running Japanese. And you really feel it too, like when you're waiting for these fires to spawn on the US version and it's just like so slow, it's really a pain. So you'll kind of see the difference as you can kind of see here the spawn rate. You see it even more in the second room. The Japanese, the fire spawns so much faster. It's actually almost at times a little bit of a challenge because sometimes they spawn in kind of obnoxious places. But this is a really good opportunity for Quill to make up time, especially after the cake boss. So it wouldn't surprise me here if Quill could almost catch up by the end of these candles.
Real quick, Funyuns dropped $20, said game hard.
Yo, Funyun. Thank you for the 20.
Yeah, and there's 2 candle rooms, and both of them are the same kind of scenario in terms of speed wise. I think the first room might be like a little bit faster on the US compared to the second room, not regional differences. But yeah, you really feel the difference here. You'll see how quickly Quill can move through this room compared to Quentin.
Alright, where are we at? What's the status update? How close are we?
I just entered, boss.
Okay, you're about a room ahead of me. So it's anyone's game, really.
Yeah. And there's a few differences with the fight here. The first phase is kind of the same, but the second phase will kind of vary based on regional differences. One boss will move potentially more times on the Japanese, and the way the boss actually takes damage is a little bit different. It's a little bit harder, I think, on the Japanese, but sometimes can be faster. So we'll kind of let this play out and see who takes this.
Bro, really?
Time.
What?
I don't know what's happening.
Did we tie? Bro.
That was very close.
Okay then.
We're all winners here! Yay!
Nice.
That again must have been like within a second or two of each other. That was so close.
Game Master Quo just said in the chat that it's 4 seconds of difference. Who won, though? I won by 4 seconds. Okay.
Hey. Okay, whatever.
GG run?
GG.
Dude, you got screwed by the final boss RNG, for sure. I got really good RNG.
I really should have, like, waited a little bit to shoot a couple of those times. I totally had it going into the boss, though.
And those are pretty good times overall.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, just another reason why this is a really exciting race game, because like even right down to the end, just based on how the final fight goes, it could really go either really quick or you could lose a lot of time. Really makes it exciting to the end.
Yeah. Really good race game and a great speedrun in general. Both Chameleon Twist 1 and 2. You'll see 2 in a minute, but we have a really great scene, so if anybody's thinking about picking up either of these games, feel free to go to speedrun.com, go to Chameleon Twist, and join the Discord. We're happy to help anybody get acquainted with the game and get better. So,
Yo, Quill, were you running a timer?
I was not.
Rip.
I'm sorry. We'll go back and look later, because I'm sure I just saw you say you got 2203. So I'll look at mine later, and we'll see who actually won. But it was extremely close. Either way, good games.
Yeah, definitely. It was really close. A good showing of the game.
Yep, GG, thank you. And with that, you are still and already sitting at the Choose the Next Speedox video incentive. And in a not too cushy, but in a lead of $5 over Super Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see that expand during Chameleon Twist 2. But thank you so far, Ron. Thank you, Quillen, who we'll have more of. And I'd say we'll take it over to intermission, get tech ready for the next one. And thanks again for showing us a good time and a great game.
See you in a few.